Hey guys, so doing a prep on the gas mono here, and I know Big B Ironclad has been presenting his lately, so he just entered the gas world. And I know a long time ago he was talking about, no, I'm not going to do gas, no, I'm not going to do gas. Well, he found out as you do more and more RC boating, you start kind of getting curious and looking at broadening your horizons within the RC boating hobby. So what he found out, he ended up getting, his gas catamaran. After running it a couple of times, now he's stoked. Sorry guys, I'm looking for something real fast. But he's been stoked about getting, running it and how much fun he's been having. I know a lot of people talk about oh, gases, never own it one. Yes, they got their pros and cons, and they're goods and bads like everything else out there, and it just takes kind of a certain individual, I guess. But if you're been doing boats for a long time, sometimes you just want to try something different. That's why I end up getting into gas. And then also, I like to race as well, so that also promoted it. So right now I'm doing some prep work into getting this boat ready. I'm just getting the cable greased. Usually, this boat was originally set up for a two-piece drive system where, I had the barrel, I had, a shaft here plus the cable itself. So, I changed this boat up to do a single cable so I can easily grease it. Makes things a little simpler. So, gathering a few tools to do the greasing like normal. We all know how to do this, so I used a simple syringe filled with the grease, injected it from there. Then I'm using a tool like this to reach down into the coupler, so as soon as the grease comes through, I can get some of the grease, pull the cable back a little bit, and keep it a little cleaner. So I gotta find a little towel. Wasn't prepared for this. My lake opened up, so I may end up doing a quick shoot out there. So I'll be right back. All right, so I found something. So like all things, I like to try to clean up the cable before it goes in, get all that grease off of it and crap as much as possible. So the cable's got a good bite into the couple, call it. Okay, awesome to see how I got the spark plug boot removed, because doing this right here, simple back and forth, I can easily turn on the motor, start it, and I don't want my fingers next to that propeller. It'd be a bad day. Alright, so got that part done. And so, but we're gonna get set up, get a couple things, and then be back. Alright, so we made the local lake now. Fueling, pretty straightforward, and there's many different ways. This is the setup I have coming out of the fuel can. I have a overly large fuel bag in this one. Oh, it's like 1,000 cc. I think Big Ironclad's running the same size bag. This boat has a tendency to be a little front end light, so it'll notice a little more fuel. It likes a little bit more fuel, more COG forward with this boat. I did make a few adjustments to the trim tabs, the strut, adding an angle to the strut, hoping that will kind of help. I did, I was going to test this propeller, just kind of get my baseline for the setup, which the propeller is a 7016, a big 716 propeller I have on it right now. It's been doing pretty good, but I'm on this hunt for a little bit more speed, so I got a 6717 prop to try for this guy. And kind of see what it does. Track, start. So this is going to be a baseline speed. What I'm gonna do is first get a quick fire. So that way, when I walk down, she'll fire right up. Someone flying, I don't know what though, but sorry for the bouncing around on the camera. You guys will understand. There she goes. Alright. Good enough. Another thing I like to try and check is as soon as you hit full brake or reverse, however you want to consider it, the boat will turn off. So I always like to check that too. For safety reasons, something happens, I can kill it if it comes to it. All right, let's see what she does. Not too bad. Woo. A little loose. Little hoppy. A little hoppy on the front end. One more time. Here, we'll see what she did for some speed, change out a prop, and come back. Nothing like the smell of two-stroke fuel. And I try to run a muffler on this thing to help quiet it down. And so, stop. 49, that's not bad. That's almost 50. Let's change out the prop and come back. All right, GPS is rolling. We'll make sure. Yeah, GPS is rolling. Last run was 49. Let's see what a smaller prop does. It just doesn't seem as fast. I don't know. It doesn't handle too bad. A couple more laps and call it good. Well, I'm not done with the prop. One more time around. I know about. One more time. We'll bring it in, see what it does. Kind of like that, a prop. Well, we got 50. 1 mile an hour faster. I don't know. Someone was telling me I'm doing a different pipe on this prop too, which may have to rod that pipe. So right now I'm running a big pipe, as you can see. It's got that band, so it's kind of a low end, mid-range type of pipe for the boat itself. So I may try a different pipe with this prop, see if I can get a little bit more than that 50, but 4950, that's not bad for a stock, for a 26cc stock motor, not modified, so not bad. So anyways, be back. All right, so we're back at my shop now. Coming back. And off camera, I did play with the tune of the motor. So, turned in the high end just a hair, just a little bit more, so if I can get a little bit more out of it. Which pretty much the best I got. Messed with the high end a little bit. I put the old that 7016 back on it, and I got 50 out of that as well. So, I may retry the 6717 prop again, and swap out my low end to high end, low end to mid end pipe I have here, and go to the pipe that's on this motor here, which is from Redline Performance. It's sort of known as a hot pipe right here. So it's got the single, it doesn't have the band, so it's a shorter pipe. So I was being told by a few people that that prop with this pipe and kind of get a little more high end. So I'm still kind of playing with it, but as people new getting to gas boats, it's a big learning curve. Even for myself, it took me some time to kind of learn how they run, the tuning, getting them set up right. It's not electric where you can throw in bigger size batteries, voltage, and go faster. Bigger motor, go faster. You're kind of stuck with the motor. Really what you can do is play with the pipe, different pipes, different lengths. You can do a couple of different smaller props, and different things. You can do it And so, but when I come back, you know, what I normally do will defuel it, pull all the fuel out of it. I don't like leaving fuel in that fuel bag because it can expand under pressure and then ruin that bag as well. So I usually will defuel it, get all the fuel out of it, and then just leave it like that. I run a mixture of Coleman fuel with Colts, synthetic 2-stroke oil, so that it's not going to damage the seals in the carburetor, the diaphragms, or anything like that. So it'll be okay until, you know, perfectly fine. So I'm not worried about that part. And I run that fuel only because of, in my local state of Washington, it's hard to get fuel that does not have ethanol in it. That is bad for O-rings and anything rubber. So that fuel is better. You know, I've been told, you know, aircraft fuel 100 LL, which is like a leaded fuel as well. But, you know, again, there's not many areas around. I can get it local. So this is the easiest. I can go to my local Walmart, pick up a gallon, and, you know, that gallon will last for a while. And so, but yeah, that's how I did. You know, got a few stacks of fuel going right there. But yeah, this is, you know, my gas setup. Definitely different. I enjoy it. Broaden my horizons. You know, some people for electric only. You know, I like mix, just having different boats to run. You know, the gas is, you know, kind of fun. You know, just throw it out there and just go. You know, but also depends on where you can run it. So in my area, you know, I got only 1 or 2 lakes I can run. And you run the gas boat. Whereas my electric, I can run in a lot of different places. But what I try to do is I run a muffler from Redline Racing to help quiet it down a little bit, so it's not so loud for a lot of the neighbors on the lake and stuff like that. Even though during the summer, they run some big gas boats out there, some formulas and stuff like that, and you know, straight open pipe. So during the summer, it's pretty loud and noisy out there. But, you know, I still try to be considerate with this guy here. But it does, you know, draw a big crowd versus electric. Electric, there'll be a few people, but the gas, I had someone come over. Oh, you know, I heard it all the way from the other side of the lake and wanted to come check it out. So I thought that was cool. So it does have its place in the hobby. It's not for everyone, but, you know, some people love them. And, you know, some people don't like them. So, again, it's got their place. So, anyways, thanks for, you know, watching. I'm still going to play with the tune a little bit. I'm going to play with different pipes. And eventually change out this pipe and try that 67-17 prop again, because the pitch ratio is within comparison. So I'm gonna see if I can get, you know, at least break that 50 and get into at least 51, 52, which would be kind of cool. But we'll still play with it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.